Okay, so before we start the actual video that I'm planning on doing, I just wanted to test something real quick. So, um, so why? I was wondering like if anyone knew really. I can't play the Pokemon trading card game online here. I'm clicking it again, and then it stops loading, and then that's it. So I was wondering if just anyone knew. Would really like to redeem the codes that I have, but today we have Snaptrap. Snaptrap is I forget actually if that's like the name of its ability, but that's the name of its ability in the video game. So I'm going with Snaptrap. Snaptrap is a very interesting deck that I want to try out. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get into it. 4 copies of Galarian Stunfisk V. Galarian Stunfisk V is quite bulky, kind of, sort of. As for retreat, as shown in the picture right here. Here, I should probably so, as for retreat cost, which is pretty bulky, and it has 200 HP, and it has an ability where if it, depending on how much metal energy is attached to it, it gets an extra 20 HP. So that's just something neat to keep in mind, and especially when accounting for the math in this deck. And it also has the attack where for 2 colorless, it does 60 damage, and if it gets attacked during your opponent's next turn, then you put 12 damage counters on your opponent's active. So essentially, it does 60, and if your opponent attacks you in their next turn, then it does 180. And that's pretty good. It kind of gives like a whole it gives like it's supposed to give like a whole idea of have you like it's just basically going to be really scared to attack you. And we have a bunch, and of course metal types have a lot of different ways to keep themselves alive for a whole turn so that they're not sacrificing 2 prizes only to not knock them out. And one of those ways, of course, is Lucario and Melmetal GX. Lucario and Melmetal, of course, with its full metal wall GX, it's no damage, but your steel type Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks for the rest of the game. So, if we just run through the math, we have 2 metal energy attached to Galarian Stunfisk, so now we have 240. And then with Full Metal Wall, essentially makes it a 270 HP Pokemon. And remember, we can always add more metal energy to it if need be. Then we have 2 copies of Crobat V and 1 Dedenne. Usually I go with 2 Dedenne and 1 Crobat, but this time around I thought that 1 copy of Dedenne would be a little bit better than 2, and 2 copies of Crobat V would be a little bit better than just 1. So, yeah. That's Pokemon supporters. Pretty simple. 4 copies of Professor's Research, 3 Mallow and Lana, 3 Marnie, and 1 Boss's Orders. For research, obviously, just discard your hand, draw 7. Obviously, we play Metal Saucers, so being able to discard the metal energy if we go second is very nice. 3 Mallow and Lana, because more likely than not, we're not going to get one-shot. So Mallow and Lana is nice to be able to heal and then go into a different Galarian Stunfisk. 3 Marnie, just standard draw and disruption, and 1 copy of Boss's Orders. Now you don't particularly need Boss's Orders in this deck because we're not going to be knocking any Pokemon out, let's be honest here. And they can always just retreat during their next turn. This is definitely not like a quick, this is not a one-hit KO deck. This is an attack me, I dare you deck. And if we Boss's Orders up at Dedenne, we're not doing anything. It's not like we're knocking out Dedenne in one shot. They can just retreat it using a switch or a Mallow and Lana and all that stuff. So 1 Boss's Orders, just in case you like for some disruption, but really that's all you really need. Items, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Switch, Galarian Stunfisk, sorry. Galarian Stunfisk does have a fatty 4 retreat cost, and Lucario Melmetal does have a fatty 3. So, being able to use Switch is very, very useful. 4 copies of Pokegear 3.0. Being able to find our Malolanas is very, very helpful. You know. 4 copies of Toughness Cape. Toughness Cape is a new card we're getting in Darkness Ablaze. Basically, it gives 50 extra HP to any basic non-GX Pokemon, and luckily, Galarian Stunfisk is a basic non-GX Pokemon, so it gets an extra 50 HP. So let's just run through that math again, right? Lucario Melmetal gives it essentially 230. Toughness Cape gives it 280. 2 Metal Energy, which is the bare minimum for its attack, gives it 320. And like I said, you can always add more HP. And with the Malolanas, it always just makes it really annoying to not be able to knock it out and be healed off, and you still took 12 damage counters. It's just really disappointing, playing against the stack. It just feels hopeless. It's like you're running into a brick wall over and over again. 4 copies of Metal Saucer, because we want to accelerate metal energy as quickly as possible, and that's the best way. Really, our ideal turn would be we attach a metal energy to Lucario Melmetal in the active spot. We Metal Saucer once, maybe Metal Saucer twice onto Galarian Stunfisk. Full Metal Wall, and then next turn we can just start using, we can just start attacking. 3 copies of Great Ball. We only play 9 Pokemon, so being able to search out those 9 Pokemon is very, very important. If we whiff our Full Metal Wall on the first turn, things are gonna start going south, which has made me think, should I play a 3rd copy of Lucario Melmetal? I'm still debating on it, but for now this is what we got. 2 copies of Palpad. Again, Malolon is really important in this deck, so being able to Palpad them back is very important. 1 copy of Metal Goggles. I still think that Metal Goggles is really good. Sometimes having reduced damage and also being immune to damage counters, that's pretty nice. But sometimes having damage reduced instead of just having more HP can be better, but it can also sometimes be worse. So, yeah. And then 2 copies of Power Plant. That's also one of the reasons why I decided to go with 2 Crobat, 1 Dedenne, because Power Plant is a thing, and, yeah. Just felt like it'd be more useful to have 1 copy of Dedenne instead of 2. And next up, and that is it for the items and stadiums. Energy, 12 Metal Energy. That's about it. 12 Metal Energy is a good amount. You'll probably hit a Metal Energy so you can Full Metal Wall without really any issues. It's also enough Metal Energy to be able to throw into the discard when you use a Dedenne or a Professor's Research. And it's just a good amount of energy, just think, okay? You just attach 1 energy to Lucario Melmetal, right? And then you Metal Saucer, and attached for turn, you'll have 3 energy on a Galarian Stunfisk, 260, essentially 290, and then Toughness Cape will make it 340 on a 2 Prizer. That is higher than Wailord V. That is going to be coming out. So, yeah, something to think about. But yeah, 12 Metal Energy is definitely more than enough. The only reason we play more than something like 8 or 9 is because we're able to attach more than just 2 energy and have more HP. So, yeah. That is it for Galarian Stunfisk V. Again, this is not like a very competitive, regionals, internationals winning deck, but it is definitely a lot of fun to play. So I highly recommend that once Darkness Ablaze comes out, to give it a shot, because it's a neat deck, And, as always, bye. Because what else am I gonna say? Also, if you guys know what's going on with PTCGO, please let me know down in the comments, because I'd really, really like to be able to scan like the some 50 codes that I have and open them up on the channel. So, yeah. Bye.